Hey, it's the Analytics Dude. I'm here with a tutorial on how to do joins in KNIME. Now, before I jump into the software, if you haven't already downloaded the KNIME platform, please do that now. As Gary Vee is fond of saying, you can't read about doing push-ups. You actually have to do them. Analysis is the same way. There's only so much you can get from just watching me do something. You have to physically click through and do it yourself in order to get the thought patterns down. Now, the link to download KNIME and the link to the article with the files that I use in here are both going to be in the notes down below. If this is content you like, please hit like. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. And now, without further ado, here is an uncut real-time clip of how long it takes me to do the joins. Hope you enjoy. Okay, the first step is, of course, we have to fire up that KNIME software. So here we go, opening it now. See, select the directory as a workspace. I'm going to just keep everything standard, make things easier. Take a look how quickly this goes. I don't have a lot of extensions installed, which is going to speed it up. I don't have anything else open, but other than that, you can see it's really fast. So where do we start? Is right here, create a new workflow. Workflow is that visual workflow that we've talked about before. So bam, new workflow. I'm not going to worry about naming it right now because, well, I'm not saving this. So first step is we actually have to get our files in. So IO is, of course, input, output. We're going to read, and I know my files are CSVs, and I have two of them, so I'm going to drag two of these up here. So there's one, and there's two, and this is how we input our files. So in order to set these, again, right-click on it, and we got to configure. Tell it where the stuff is coming from. So first I'm going to browse to find the files themselves. I know that I put them in my videos stuff, my KNIME videos. Here's the joins tutorial. Customer demo data, boom. So has column headers. Yes, I know my data has column headers. Has row headers. My data does not have rows, so I'm going to uncheck that one. I'm going to apply that and hit OK. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other CSV reader. So it does not have row headers. Fine, it's going to be in the exact same file, and it's the other file in there, which was sales data. So read that in there, apply, hit OK. All right, so now the way that KNIME lets you view stuff is file table. At the bottom here, it'll be group table, file table, join table, whatever. That's how you see stuff. And, well, there's no data because I haven't actually executed. So you see how there's yellow here? That means that it's ready to go, but it just hasn't gone yet. So I'm going to hit execute, or as you can see, hit F7 there. So execute that, boom, it's green. Now you can see it's ready to read. So we'll look at our file table there. And what do we see? Here's my stuff. It added a row ID, which isn't the biggest problem in the world. I don't really care or not. I hesitate to use customer ID as a row ID because it's not necessarily always going to be a row ID. But that's not a big deal now. So we see we have 499 rows and we have 3 columns. All right, let's do the same for this one. So I'm just going to hit F7 this time. It ran, and we'll go file table. Okay, so our sales data is about 3 times the size of our customer demo data. We have 1,497 rows and also 3 columns. All right, so now it's time to join them. Now, one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of on KNIME is some of these nodes. They're not necessarily the easiest to see. So joins are under manipulation, column. Which one was it? Split and combine. Split and combine, and then joiner, which is kind of hard to find. It took me a little while to do that, but luckily they have this little search bar there. So oh, look, join. So you can do join or cross join. And so bring that join over there. And so literally all you have to do is you connect that one and connect, oops, didn't connect that one. So you join the two together. You see you get this little warning there is, please define at least one joining column pair. That's anybody who's done any coding know you get a log file like this that gives you warnings. So we haven't set it up yet, so that's not a big deal. So we're going to configure here. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to choose which type of join. You got 4 to pick from. Inner join is the most common type of join, or really kind of the standard everything's set to. We'll show the other ones too if we want. And so here, so what are the columns we're going to join on? Row ID equals row ID? No. Row ID is something that it added, so we want to join on customers. So we have customer demographic data on one side, and then we have sales data on the other side, and then customer ID is the one common thing between the two of them. And so column selection, so you can choose to exclude columns. So like for instance, if we didn't actually want one of these in here, we can choose to bring it, oh, I gotta unclick, always include all the columns. So if we, for whatever reason, we decide we don't want age, we can just throw it over there. I'm gonna keep age for now. And there, and then now we are good. So let's do our join. Hit OK. All right, you see it's yellow, that means it's ready. And so we'll do the execute, or I can hit F7, and bam, it's green. So now, instead of it's saying, I forgot what it said, table view before, now it says join table. So we see our join table, and look, what do we see here? So it's not 499 rows, it's 521 rows. Why is that? Well, as you can see, some customers have multiple purchases. So customer 4 purchased 2 items that day, customer 11 purchased 2 items that day. She actually purchased the same item twice. And so that's what we see here, is it joins. Remember, an inner join only joins something where you have input on both sides. Okay? And so that's it. That's the join right there. We can reconfigure it to do other things. Like if we wanted to do a left join, how many columns or how many rows would we expect to get? Well, we'd expect to get at least 499 because there are 499 on our left. But as we know that there's going to be some multiple entries, so we'll probably see, or we should see higher than that. Settings, but yep, continue that, and let's execute that again. And what's our join table? We have 686 rows. So it shows everything on the left side, and it also shows their corresponding entries on the right. So the way it did it was, and I'm not sure how easily you can change it. So it shows the stuff where there are matches here, which is what we previously saw. And then the left side, where there were no matches, where you see the question marks here, it has those below it. I'll dig to see if you can change that, because sometimes you like to have just all the customers in a row, and shows whether or not they're joined. But that's it. That's a left join right there. Right join, you're going to see more or less the same thing, except with the right column. Let's see what a full outer join looks like on here. Yep, accept that and hit F7 to execute. Let's see what that join table looks like. 1,662 rows. So that is, of course, an outer join is all columns, or all rows, all data. So you see stuff where it isn't matched from the left table, and then you see stuff where it isn't matched from the right table. So that's the entirety, the largest possible join that you can do, or it just has all the data, what matches and what doesn't. All right, it's that simple. Those are joins. What did that take me? Just a couple minutes there. And then, of course, if we wanted to do another file, we would just add another input right down here, and then we can join that with this. The output of the joins, we can join to another join. It really is that simple. If you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll be putting together more of these videos. Thanks. Thanks for watching. If this was something you enjoyed or got something out of, please smash that like button right now. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. It means a lot to us. Until next time, I'm the Analytics Dude. Thanks for watching.